Hey, hello scrappers. Welcome back. Today I thought I'd clean up some of these pop-off valves. Give you a good view of my cluttered desk, workbench. Got a lot of copper and stuff on there, a lot of little stuff I need to take the time to clean up. May just throw it all in a bucket, and then when temperatures cool down where I can spend more time out here in the shop, then I'll get around to cleaning it. Now, a few years back when I first started cleaning these, I kept looking at them and saying, how can I do that? Because I knew that spring in there was magnetic. I say these little telescopic magnets work great if you need a good strong magnet. I'm getting a little bit of pull on it. Some of those are probably stainless, but they're magnetic stainless. Then this piece here, now usually this little piece on the top here is aluminum. But what I used to do, I used to cut back about halfway or so, and then I'd cut upward, with the little die grinder, a little 3-inch cutting wheel. And of course, running on air wouldn't take much to bog it down. I think it was a little Harbor Freight one, but it did the job. And then I found out, you can probably just cut or grind right around the top here, and grind a little bit of the brass off of there, and then it would pop right on out. But usually what I'll do, I'll take like side cutters, pull that pin out, and then you got your little piece of aluminum. I'm going to set that aside, and then you see that was set in there, and then it's kind of pressed where the brass kind of rolls over the top and seals it. So there's not really that much holding it. So you could cut it there if you wanted to, or like I say, take a bench grinder or angle grinder and just grind right around that top. But the fastest way, of course, you got to have a good bench vise. Put it in that vise, and you take a good hammer. Of course, you got to hit it. And this one's bending, so it's probably not going to work right. Yeah, they work just fine off video, but as soon as you go to show somebody, then you have problems, right? And it's probably not going to work now. That's already been bent and weakened. Let me try a little smaller hammer. Usually doesn't take a whole lot. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work or not. We'll set that one aside. Yeah, let me get that pin off the top. Yeah, we'll try it with this one. There it goes. And just like that, it's got calcium buildup or something on there. There it is. Just like that, it's clean. It all popped right out the end, got a little calcium buildup there. So, I'm just wondering if I can take this one I might try it. This is experimental. Just cut that bent part off. And let's see. Put a socket down over it maybe. Now I'll probably never get the socket back out of there. No, that's not going to work either. Yeah, I'm going to have to experiment with that one. So I think what it does, it compresses that spring and pushes it on through. I may have to get something a little smaller. And where's the good pliers? There we go. May need a smaller socket. Something that'll go down in there better, but or some kind of a big wide punch so I can put on there. But anyway, let's go ahead and get some of these others knocked out. This one here I got a big PEX fitting on it, and this one looks like it has more of like a rivet in it than a pin. So we just tear it up. Yeah, talking about maybe getting some rain tomorrow. That'd be nice. We could use it. Yeah, it's starting to bend. I think once they start to bend, it's hard to do it. So some of them you may have to cut, but a lot of them, yeah, I think we're going to have to cut that one. This has got just a little shorty. So we'll see. It went down a little ways. I'll see if I can drive it in more with this. Yeah, blew the top right out of there. So pretty much what we wanted. So I wonder if I can do that with that one I cut off. Let me stick this in the vise. Some of these they don't want to come out of there, so you may have to put it in the vise. Look at all that calcium. Man. A lot of calcium built up. Oklahoma water. Yeah. Man, almost need to turn the fan on. Had a good breeze blowing through here a little bit ago. Daughter's air conditioner went out on her, so I had to go through some of them I had out here. Had one out here kind of behind the shop. Been sitting out there for over a year. I think it's 8,000 BTU. It seemed to be blowing pretty cold, so give it a try. I think it just blew out. Yep. I'm sure that rod's flattened out pretty good, so I don't know if it's going to pull out one way or the other. Good bite on it there and drive it out. We had a pound and a half so far, huh? I'm not really keeping track of the time, but one time I timed myself cutting about 8 of them down. 8 of them, I don't know what it made, a couple pounds. I think I weighed out 4 pounds before I got started here, or a little over. See, that one popped right out, except that center rod. one does not want to come out of there. Huh. Man, keep dripping all over my glasses. I put a headband on. So popping these apart hasn't been the problem. The problem's been getting that rod out of there. It looks kind of fat right there. See if I can cut it off there. Now, yep, now it pulled right out. Cut that end off or it was getting fat. This one, another one rod bent. So I'm gonna cut that off about flush. And grab this, I don't know, this old bolt or something I had around, and makes a good punch. And that did not pop it out, believe it or not. Well, did maybe a little bit. Let's see what we got here. It wants to move around. Yeah, I don't think it's quite popped out of there. That's pretty flattened down in there. A lot of times use channel locks, get better leverage. Not in this case, huh? Yep, the angle grinder did that one. Just cut it apart. But as you can see, some of these, they just pop right out. You can hit it. Need a bigger hammer so I can hit. I think that thing's popping off to the side. That one popped out of there somewhat, but not quite far enough. Looked like it was about halfway out, and it popped back. Yeah, that wind dropped off, and now I'm sweating pretty good. Imagine you guys doing the same thing out there. Remember, drink plenty of water. I notice on the commodities, copper would come up just a little. I don't know if it's going to be enough to amount to anything on our benefit. If it doesn't want to come out that way, see if I can get it out the other way. Probably not. There we go. Came right out that time. I got 3 or 4 more left over there. Yeah, it looks like 3 plus that one I gotta cut. Yeah, it's bending. Oop. I don't want to throw that in there. Bent again. That was a tough one. Yeah, we'll just set it aside and then we'll fire up the angle grinder here in a minute. See if these will pop out or if I gotta fight them. It's already starting to bend. Well, that one really bent that time. Yeah, sometimes they pop out, sometimes they don't. But try the punch. I can feel the thing kind of springing back and forth. So I guess it just, that thing's kind of come out, it's kind of cockeyed in there now. So it's trying to pop out of there. Yeah, I think I did it that time, yep. I think what I have to do on some of these is literally use a punch and drive that rod out of there. This one kind of got boogered up a little bit. That one popped right out. Plain brass. So some of them do. Some, you know, some of them are popping right out, just pretty as you please, and others want to fight you about every step of the way. The thing wants to spin and yeah. Yeah, it's starting to bend, so let me just cut it down a little shorter. Yeah, bent even worse. Okay. So now if you're wearing earbuds, you might turn your volume down. So I'm going to get the angle grinder. Looks like we got 3 we got to grind. Now this one looks like it's kind of pressed way down in there, so I may try to just cut it right about here and see what happens. So I'm just going to try to cut it in about 1/4 inch. I don't know if that did us any good or not. Oh, I don't want to pick it up with my hands because I know that thing's hot. I'll set that down there for a second. Looks like about all we got here now is that rod. Okay, there's the rod. Now I'll try to put this in the vise. See if we can pry that piece out now. Okay, what I'm going to have to do, probably, I've got a little bit of metal still running around on the inside of that. I'm going to make a little cut. And now it comes right out. Brass. This one I'll do a little bit different. I'll try to make a cut in this way and a cut in that way and see if that will relieve enough pressure to where it'll pop out. Looks like it popped out of there when I cut it. Now I just got to get that rod out of there. It's kind of boogered up. Piece at this end is bent over, and that's pretty boogered there. So I think I'm going to have to probably cut it back in probably about the end of the threads, so I can get into that one part and see if I can't clean it up. And I cut that just so I could get back here. You can see how that's all boogered up. So I get back into that. Maybe we'll kind of pull it up some so I can cut it off fresh. Push right out. That's clean now. That seemed to work pretty good that way, just making a cut each way, and that kind of relieved the pressure. And it popped right out. Now we took the pressure off of there. See if it'll pop out of there. Yep. Popped out real nice. Okay, that's clean. Now what do we got there? That turned on us. 4.5 pounds, a little over 4.5 pounds. So I lost about a half a pound or so, because I think I had 5.2, 5 pounds 2 ounces. So yeah, we lost a good half a pound. But hey, that's not bad. 4.5 pounds of brass, and I don't know what it'd take. Not too long, 15 minutes maybe. So not too shabby. So when they knock out and they don't bend, that is a pretty easy method. And then if they do bend, I guess instead of sitting there fighting with them, it might be best to just make those 2 cuts and then cut the bend part off and give it a tap, and it'll pop right out of there. So looked like that's the way to do it. I've been working on some other stuff outside. I'll try to get a video of some of that tomorrow or the next day, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. It's just dealing with that heat out here, which today it's only supposed to be 99, so that's not too bad. We got a little breeze blowing in here. That helps. So I think I'm about ready to go in and take a break, get some lunch. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by and visiting, and try to get some more brass here. I got more out there for later, but that's probably enough for now. And I get some other stuff going here later. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you're not sure, go ahead and go to my main channel, look through the playlist, and you can see some of the different stuff I do, and maybe that'll help you to decide if I earn your subscription or not. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Share it with your friends. And I know a lot of you guys know now that a lot of YouTubers have that join button, and I guess that's kind of probably like Patreon or something, where you pledge $1 or something per video or whatever, you know, $1, $5, whatever you think you can afford. And I've just been debating, should I put one up? And then usually you have to have, if you do that, you have to have some kind of perks for the guys that join. And I'm thinking, well, you know, what kind of perks can I give them? I just do scrap metal, you know. So I don't know, maybe you guys can throw some comments in there whether you think that'd be a good idea to put the join button there, and maybe what kind of perks that I could probably do. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I was checking out some air conditioners earlier, found 2 good ones, 2 bad ones, and I got a couple that were on end, so I got them laying flat on a pallet. I'll check them in a couple days. I think one of those is 12,000 BTU and the other is 8, something like that. I know last year I bought a new one for my bedroom. Last year before, 8,000. I really wanted a 10,000, but I don't think they had any in stock. And like I told my wife right now, my stepdaughter's, hers went out, and I said, I doubt if any of the lumber yards or Walmart or anybody has any in stock this late in the summer. So she was talking about going to rent a center. I thought, yeah, that might not be a bad idea, just going to rent one for 6 to 8 weeks. You know, and then by then the weather's going to cool off and won't need it. So, but I found that one. It seemed, well, pretty cold. So, and it's 8,000 BTU. So I think that'll work for her. And then I found a 6,000 BTU that works. Seems to work anyway. So, and then there was a 220 that was 18,000 BTU. It seemed to work. So I'm kind of debating, okay, my bedroom's not that far from the power pole. I could run 220 into the bedroom and put a big 220, because I got 2 more air conditioners that I picked up, I think year before last, from a guy, and he had built wooden crates out of plywood, and he's got the air conditioners boxed up in a plywood box, you know, and you know, one's pretty good size, the other one's a little smaller. I'm assuming they're both 220 volt, so 220, 240, whatever. So I may have to drag them up and check them out. So I'm thinking, okay, do I want to, of course if I go to run that 220, I'll have to get the sprinkler out here and soften the ground up before I start digging. I was looking at this one, some of this 220 or Romax I brought in the other day, or you know, a while back, the other day, 2 months ago. Yeah. Anyway, it looks like it's a 10 gauge. So, and air conditioners, they're not as, most of them aren't as power hungry, the window units anyway, as some of these like welders and stuff like that. So I should be able to get by with 10 gauge just fine. And it's not that long of a run, 30 feet. Maybe. Yeah, maybe 30 feet. Something like that. So, plus that bedroom gets kind of cold in there in the winter, a little bit, not bad. So I got that Mr. Heater out here, it's 220 heater. I thought, well, I could use that in there on occasion. Just when it gets super cold outside and you got that north wind blowing, those trailers are kind of drafty, and trailers are known for having, you know, thin insulation in them. So most of the time, you know, we stay pretty warm in there. But I was thinking, we're on 220 in there, I could put a bigger air conditioner, and it might be more energy efficient. And even like right now, I got an air conditioner in there set at 70 and this low fan. So, and then I've been running, I got one of those Arctic Airs in there, and I plug that into my inverter, and so I'm using solar power to power it. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble on, and I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something maybe from this video. Like I said, I was experimenting a little bit by just making these two cuts. Where am I? Yeah, here I'm making these two cuts down the side. But like I said, I used to cut down the side and then cut over this direction, and just take this piece off right here in a big chunk. So, and then the thing would pop apart also. But once you get in there, you can see that there's really not much. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera or not. Yeah, probably not with that background. But there's just a very, very slight lip in there. Not very big at all. So it's not pressed in very much. Okay, I'm going to get off of here, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So, see you later. Bye-bye.